You first landed in Riyadh in 2009 on an internship.
Summer of 2009.
Okay, before Vision 2030 even existed, how did you even end up being like, I'm gonna go to Riyadh, Saudi Arabia?
So I went to research what is life in Saudi Arabia on Google.
Yeah.
And then I really got very, very concerned because everything I read on Google didn't sound great. Sultan said, Victor, welcome to my country. Can I take you for lunch? He took me for lunch.
Yeah.
And that was the start of the incredible turnaround. I'm here at 3 in the morning with my friends having the most incredible time, incredible conversations. We're connecting, we're bonding, and there's no alcohol.
Yeah.
And 3 in the morning in Singapore looked very different.
100%.
From the airport to the city, I thought I'd landed in the wrong city.
Really?
And I knew Riyadh very well.
Yeah.
I said, what? This is the wrong, we did not recognize a thing.
Wow.
So by 4 p.m., there was nothing left. No, son, we have not lost everything. But what we learned in a life in business, in 25 years in business, our experience, our reputation, our knowledge, our connections, our friendships, and family, nobody can take away from us.
Welcome to Inside Saudi. Today we have Victor Barreto, part 1.
We had to split this one into 2 parts. It's a first time for us, but the conversation was going so long in a very interesting way. If it's not interesting, we'll cut it off. But
We definitely needed 2 episodes.
Yeah. So in this part, we get into, Victor came in 2009. He got in with Saudis right away through a random Facebook connection, and it literally changed the trajectory of his time in the kingdom up until now. Yeah. And he started with Flynas back when it was in the infancy of it as a company, and then he came back to help start Flow, this compound. There's a couple locations now. So he's seen quite a bit of change in the kingdom. He's been through a lot of different kind of roles in the kingdom. And I think it's a super interesting conversation. We talk about lots of things from Saudi hospitality all the way to compounds and housing and what to look for, a variety of topics, because he has a spectrum of knowledge. So let's get into it with Victor.
Let's go.
Okay, we're here. We're live.
Good.
Victor, welcome.
Finally, thank you. Really excited.
You're the one that got us this studio.
Well,
Kind of. Yeah.
Yeah.
You helped it. You said we met here at Flow.
Yep.
We moved in. You didn't tour me, but someone on your team did.
Yes.
And we've chatted downstairs in the common working area. That's the magic of having a space. And we chatted. You said, "What do you guys need?" We're like, "Well, we have this new podcast." And it got the ball rolling for us. So thank you.
Thank you. And we're here today all together.
Thank you, Vesna. Carly, it was really great to meet you a few months ago. So that you wanted to create something and be part of facilitating, and so happy for where you've gotten. And I'm sure there's still much more to come. But let's get started.
So we're going to dive right into it. I think people need to know about you because you've been here a while. You're a wealth of stories and knowledge. So you first landed in Riyadh in 2009.
Summer of 2009.
On an internship. Okay, before Vision 2030 even existed, how did you even end up being like, I'm going to go to Riyadh, Saudi Arabia back then?
Great story. I was 25 years old at the time, born and raised in Mexico. I had a couple years of work experience with a consulting firm in Mexico and the States. And I was doing my MBA in a business school called INSEAD in France and Singapore. So I was in Singapore at the time.
Okay.
I was looking for a summer internship. I wanted to see the world since I was a kid. I think by then, with my travels and INSEAD, I had already traveled to a few 20, 25 countries in different parts of the world, but not the Middle East, just Morocco earlier the year. So when I looked for an opportunity, I wanted something that would expose me to a part of the world that was very dynamic. Back in Mexico, we would see Dubai, the towers, fountains, and I said, well, let me head over to that part of the world. And I came across a job internship in Riyadh, Saudi Arabia. I was unfamiliar, so I thought I'm gonna go to the Middle East. Took the internship and landed in Riyadh in June of 2009 to work at Flynas.
Okay.
Wow.
Flynas. So was that the beginning of Flynas as a company? Because it's quite a new airline, right?
Yes. So I think right now, Flynas is very established. It's in fact the largest low-cost carrier in the Middle East, which is an incredible success story for the kingdom.
Yeah.
But back in 2009, I think Flynas had been around for 2 years, 3 years.
So it's fairly new.
Very new and part of a broader aviation services group. right? There was Flynas, and there were ground handling services, and a few other aviation-related entities.
Okay.
So very early on, my boss at the time was the head of strategy and planning, and was looking for an intern that would come to the internship with the expectation that if things went well, then this person would eventually come back after graduation to work at Flynas.
Oh, wow.
So how did the internship go?
Well, in here we are, so it went incredible, but that's not what I thought the first week. The first week, it was a process, from where I landed to get into a place where I said I want to come back to Saudi, and I love this place.
How did you adapt to what was the business culture like here back then? Like, as someone who's just coming in, how did you adapt then?
So that's a great question. How do you adapt, right? All of us come here and try to figure things out. For me, let me just tell you the story of the first few days at Flynas in the summer. Having had traveled to a few other places, I had like my blueprint or my formula on how do I explore a new place. For example, I go to even tourism, like what would I do on the weekend? I can go see the Grand Bazaar, or I can go see a nice shopping mall, or I can go to a place where people are meeting and like introduce myself as I am, like chatty and connect with people. And when I landed in Riyadh at June 2009, I realized very quickly that was very unfamiliar. Like that was not what I had done in other places is something not how things work here. For example, for starter, everything was unfamiliar to me. The language, the environment, the culture, the religion, the cadence of a normal day. Back then, the 5 prayers per day in Islam meant that every shop and restaurant had to shut down on businesses. So for me, I never seen something like that. So I had to understand that.
Yeah, totally.
Just public life, right? I wanted to go meet people, and a lot happened behind closed doors, but in the public it was different. So I would say from a business standpoint, then when I walked through the doors of Flynas, what was incredible was to find I was not expecting in an environment that for me was unfamiliar, landing from the airport going to the compound.
Yeah.
When I walk through the office, through the doors of Flynas, I find talented people from all over the planet and Saudis working together to build this airline. I was like, wow, where did I find myself?
Yeah, amazing.
Were there many expats back then?
That's a great question. So at the airline, yes, many expats. In the city in Riyadh proper, you had a lot of expats or foreigners, mostly coming from the region. So from India, Pakistan, Egypt, Lebanon. And then I think right here in Riyadh, if you were to think about folks coming from Europe or from North America, Australia, there were few, mostly in the financial services sector.
Yeah.
Most of the expat, or you could, there was a heavy expat workforce, and it's been there for many years in Saudi, in the East Coast, aligned with the oil and gas industry.
Yes.
But Riyadh was not a lot. The DQ.
Yeah,
That was it.
How did the rest of the summer go after that?
The summer internship was an incredible turnaround.
Yeah.
From the unfamiliarity, the first early days, I tried to go on a weekend and do some sightseeing, and I tried to find like camels and like the souvenir shop.
Yeah.
There was none of that.
Yeah.
I tried to go to the shopping malls, the shopping centers I seen on TV on the Middle East. It was hard because there were family-only days, so I couldn't get in.
Yeah.
I tried to see the old ruins of the old city.
Yeah.
The Diriyah city was all boarded
up at that
boarded
point?
up. You could not reach.
Really? Okay.
Yes, it was a project it was off site.
Yeah.
I tried to go to the Grand Bazaar, right?
Yeah.
Let me go see where people trade on the weekends.
Yeah.
And I went to Batha,
Yeah.
which is an area in South Riyadh, which is not what you think of the Grand Bazaar.
Is it a little bit dangerous there?
Not at all. So
Okay.
that's a great
Myth.
question. Of
Myth.
course, a myth,
Yeah.
right?
Like a
So that
misconception.
first weekend, that
Okay.
was the failed attempt to sightsee and
Yeah.
take a lot of photos. I remember taking so many photos because I have to document this.
Yeah.
And tell the rest of the world what's happening here.
Exactly.
So I finished the first weekend, my sightseeing of the camels, the Grand Bazaar in Batha, the old city in Diriyah,
Yeah.
which I couldn't access, and my failed attempt to go into the Kingdom Tower
Yeah.
shopping mall, which I did because they thought I was a diplomat. So I said, yes, of course I'm a diplomat. Okay, come in. So I'm like, wow, the families
So
are
they wouldn't have
shopping.
let you in otherwise?
Not at all. I walked up, because that day I had my checklist. Camel-market.
Yeah.
Someone told me that if you drive all the way to the east, there's a camel market, and there wasn't. There were 10,000 camels with their camel herders, but not like a
It's
Disney
not like a
attraction.
market.
Yeah.
Not at all. So I said, okay, now let's go to the old city, Viria. Okay, I can't even get in here. Now let's go to Batha Friday. And that was not what I was expecting in terms of the Grand Bazaar experience. And then in the evening, shopping mall, Kingdom Tower. They told me that's what you go see. So it was a Friday evening. Back then, the weekends were Thursday, Friday. And when I tried to go in, I was stopped because I was a single guy. I didn't understand. And in Arabic, which I didn't speak at the time, I speak a bit now. I kind of understood. I don't know. I took out my passport, and when he saw my passport, he's like, "Oh, Sefarat or something like this." Yes, Sefarat. I don't know what Sefarat. Now I know it's like embassy.
Yeah.
It's like, come on in. And then what I see there were Saudi families mostly, men and women, shopping mango and Zara, and I was confused. Like, that's very, very interesting. But it's extremely safe.
Yeah.
So the misconceptions, even within my first week, I was already experiencing a Saudi that was very different to what the world thought.
What did you think before you came?
Well,
because I didn't even know that much. I barely had any
either.
thoughts, to be honest.
I'll tell you. So I was, as I said, in Singapore studying my MBA. I was having fun. I was 25 years old.
Yeah.
Just having a life in Singapore that was not only familiar to what I knew, but like where I was very comfortable.
Yeah.
I took the job in Riyadh, and I went announcing to all my class that I landed an amazing summer internship opportunity. So, what are you going to do? It's an airline. Amazing, great. And where are you going to work with? This guy, amazing. That's super cool. And where are you going to go? Riyadh. And people looked at me, especially my friends from the MBA who were from the Middle East, from Egypt, Lebanon. So I went to research what is life in Saudi Arabia on Google.
Yeah.
And then I really got very, very concerned. So everything I read on Google didn't sound great.
Yeah.
And that's what changed really quickly for me. Because I was scared.
You were
So I
scared.
was scared. Yes, I was scared. I wasn't scared because I'm a pretty I'm bold. I like to take risks. I'm comfortable in a familiar. I wouldn't say scared is the right word. I think none of what I read on Google told me that this was a good idea in terms of like me coming, investing here as a place where I could eventually come back.
Yeah.
It was clearly, Google had told me, no,
No.
this is not the life you probably are aligned with.
Yeah.
So there's that. I finished that first weekend, take a lot of photos.
Yeah.
I put them on my Facebook.
Yeah.
And back then, Mexico and my friends from the MBA program, people went bananas. Where are you? That looks very different. Looks scary. Looks this.
There's 10,000 camels.
There's 10,000 camels. Yeah. And do you need us to rescue you? Right? I'm like, I'm good. They're great. There are awesome people here. And then a friend told me, a Mexican friend told me, Victor, on Facebook.
Yeah.
Victor, this is again my first week in Riyadh. He says, my friend Rodolfo from Mexico said, Victor, I met a Saudi guy once. Wow. Really? Yes, I went to Connecticut and I did an English course and I met a Saudi young guy there. Like, can you introduce me? Yes. So he sent a Facebook message. So this is Victor and this is Sultan.
Yeah.
And Sultan said, Victor, welcome to my country. Can I take you for lunch? Took me for lunch.
Yeah.
And that was the start of the incredible turnaround, right?
Really?
Of the Saudi generosity, hospitality within a week.
Yeah.
3 weeks later, Sultan tells me, Victor, there's a party this weekend. I said, wow, a party in Riyadh in the summer. That's amazing. He says, yes, a friend who spent 6 years in the States and never came back. He just moved back to Saudi. He went there for studies. He worked there and he's moving back. Invites me to this party. I thought it was a party like Singapore.
Yeah.
And we find ourselves in a Straha in a Maria an hour away with 30 other Saudis, 35 men, young men, men like me.
What is that word you said? Straha?
Straha.
Is this like one of those like open spaces with like the majlis
Like the
kind
little
of thing?
farms.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
when I start understanding what the configuration of life in Riyadh looks like.
Yes.
So Straha, it's these environments, like a little farmhouse, like a little house away from home, like a second home.
Yeah.
Where here in Riyadh, folks would look to get a little bit out of the city.
Yeah.
They're very connected with desert, with their land, with nature, and go spend time. So that's where, it could be as small as just like a little modern day man cave.
Yeah.
into a full-on phenomenal property, lush with palm trees and guest houses and whatnot.
And what's happening there? Just chit chat,
Sure. I mean, anything you could. It could
coffee.
start from like watching a match to
Yeah.
chit chat to business
Yeah.
deals. In this case, as I said, I get there. There's around 30 guys.
Yeah.
And they're mostly Saudi.
Yeah.
Some of them were from Kuwait, Bahrain,
Yeah.
UAE. And I'm very out of context.
Yeah. What did
All
you
of them
wear?
are wearing tops.
Yeah.
I'm wearing probably jeans.
Yeah.
And a white shirt. I'm
Yeah.
like, I'm going to a party. This is the attire. And my camera. Like I went everywhere with my camera. And so we're there. My friend maybe introduced me to a couple people, and they were all sitting like this.
Yeah.
I thought it was a Singapore kind of party, a Mexico kind of party. No, it was all the guys were sitting in chairs like this.
Yeah.
With a table with dates, Arabic coffee, and dates.
Love that.
And that was the party. And they were like chatting like this, like we are here.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm doing my thing, trying to figure out what's going on. Then the guys go pray, probably Maghreb or Isha, maybe the evening prayer, and then they were going to have dinner. So I'm seeing them pray, and it was fascinating. So I started taking photos, and then they stopped praying. And then what my friends tell me now is that they said, "Why is this Egyptian guy taking photos of us instead of coming pray with us?" Right? They thought I was an Egyptian guy who joined.
This
Finish
Egyptian guy.
Come pray. We're praying.
Yeah.
It's nothing new. And then we started chatting with a couple people, and they learned I spoke Spanish, and I was from Mexico.
Yeah.
And that was it. Hell broke loose.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow, you're from Mexico.
Yeah.
Hermanito, my brother.
Yeah.
And they said, well, all of them had become friends studying in the States, in Boston, in Philadelphia,
Yeah.
and they became very tight.
Yeah.
And they had come back to their homeland.
Yeah.
And back in the States, most in the States, their best friends were Latinos,
Yes.
Mexican, Colombians, Venezuelans, because we shared the culture. So when they found this Mexican who got on the wrong flight and somehow find himself here, that's what turned around the summer into something incredible.
Yeah.
What that looked like was my Saudi friends picking me up after work every single day,
Really.
taking them to their homes,
Yeah.
3 a.m. chats. And I realized what an environment with, for example, no alcohol looked like. So, wow, I'm here at 3 a.m. with my friends having the most incredible time, incredible conversations. We're connecting, we're bonding, and there's no alcohol.
Yeah.
And 3 a.m. in Singapore looked very different.
100%.
So by the end of the summer, that's it. I'm set to come back.
Amazing.
Yeah.
I go back to my MBA.
Yeah.
My classmates who have found my life choice of coming to Riyadh for the summer
Yeah.
are saying, how did that go? I said, it was amazing.
Because you technically were like the first blogger here as well.
Yes.
You had a blog back in the
yeah, I
day.
know
Had
that
it started yet?
Yeah, it's defunct now.
It's defunct.
If you
Don't go looking for it.
If you go on the don't please. 'Cause there's some stuff that it's better in the past.
Yeah.
If you go on the Wayback Machine, you might be able to find it. But that's exactly right.
Yeah.
Because again, from first week, I realized people had this immense appetite to know what's happening here. I wouldn't say there's misinformation, but there's some stuff online from people who sit maybe in London or
Exactly.
in Dubai.
At the BBC, whatever.
At the BBC,
Yeah.
right? And when someone just told his story, like this morning I went to the grocery store, and while I was there, well, is there, the Mexicans need to know, is there guacamole and chili? Because otherwise we can't move to Saudi. Good point. Let me go check. But I had a blog.
Yeah.
But the blog took on really more when I came back after I finished the MBA. I came back, and then it started because I would take photos. I would send emails to my family. I did this. I did this. My family in Mexico is large. My friends at the MBA now, they all wanted to know.
Yeah.
When I decided to come back to Saudi, they wanted to follow the rest of the chapter.
Yes.
So because I had to start keeping so many people informed, I said, let me just Blogger was the platform, set up my Blogger, and let these folks receive the notification.
Yeah.
And it's so much different when you hear it directly from the camel's mouth. Like, you are here, you are experiencing everything, you are blogging. It's not your, Google that's making things up and creating all these misconceptions. You are experiencing it like firsthand life, mixing with the Saudis and, really immersing yourself.
Well, immersing myself, early days, Vesna at Flynas, when I came back, would go into the office. And I was, of course, very tight with my Saudi colleagues. We spent a lot of time together
Yeah.
after work at Flynas. By then, I taught myself how to read and write Arabic within my third week in the kingdom in the
Amazing.
summer.
Wow, that's
And
amazing.
that's something that takes a place that looks completely unfamiliar. At least you can say, okay,
Yeah.
داخل السعودية, right?
Yeah.
Like, okay, you start like
Yeah.
understanding. So yeah, now I'm going, when I'm back, I'm fully immersed, as you say.
Yeah.
I would say that 3 days in the week, 3 out of 5, I would go into the office with my thumb. Because my Saudi buddies were like, hermanito, yahi,
Yeah.
that's it. You're one of us.
Yeah.
You're coming to our tailor. Where's the tailor? In
Yeah.
Talatin Street. Everything back then was just Faisalia Tower,
Yeah.
Kingdom Tower, Tahlia Street. I lived in Malas.
Yeah.
I did not live in a compound at the time. I was
Yeah.
given my compound allowance. But like, why would I live in a compound? I'm so comfortable outside of a compound.
Yeah.
So I lived in Malas, and I was wearing my thumb.
Yeah.
I could fit my shemak so well. It's like tying a
Yeah.
necktie where like there's an art
Yeah.
in a craft. I was so good that some of my Saudi colleagues at work would be upset. They're like, how did you get it so right? Because you drive the car to work, and then before you get off, you see them like fixing it to look
Fixing it.
tidy. I was just like in my element.
Yes.
Yeah.
100%. That all started like that. Literally, your experience was transformed by one Facebook message
One.
with one guy. That's wild.
It's so different when you're mixing with local Saudis.
Hmm.
Like it completely changes the whole dynamic and the whole situation,
yeah.
the whole experience. Like Carly and I have like a really nice group of friends that we hang out with on like occasion to occasion. And it's just completely different. And people don't understand unless they do it or
that
experience
is key
it.
to like finding the magic of living here.
Yeah.
Is you get out of the compound, you get
For
out of your
sure.
bubble, and then you go experience it. Ideally, you make some friends here, and that's what, because it's the hospitality that they
Well, I
give
have
to
a
you.
question for
Yeah.
you, right? You
Yeah.
said it's very different. It's very different, and different means you're referring to different, like good. When you
Yes,
go to Saudi, it's good.
definitely.
So I know what my Saudi friends make me feel, but I'm curious about how you feel. I know that early on you've been started, invited by Saudi ladies to come to their homes or a wedding or whatnot. How do you guys feel?
I feel more in tune with the culture, with how everything is done, because looking back and like looking from the sidelines, you don't know. You can only think by looking
guess.
online, guessing. Like you don't know what happens behind those big gates.
Yeah.
You, Carly, when you're with your Saudi friends,
I
how
just-
do they make you feel?
Yeah, I think same thing. Like it's like demystifies something a little bit. I just feel like welcomed. Like they want me here. I'm like,
Yes.
and they appreciate me here. Like for example, they appreciate the podcast. They give us tips. They're like, you should have this person on. They're so generous with their knowledge, and they want us to enjoy Saudi. And it just is like, okay, I feel warm about being here. Like, and I also feel like I have some really good insider tips of like what to do and what to see and where to go and like, I don't know.
What
and you just feel
my-
really welcome.
Yeah.
What my friends made me feel in summer of 2009, it's
Yeah.
very simple. In one word, they made me feel home.
Yes.
When I would be with them,
Yeah.
something that was stressful,
Yeah.
right? Like you come here with your
Yeah.
dreams and like, and then you find yourself in a place that is unfamiliar.
Yeah.
And then the realization that first time they host you and you let the guard down and you've been taken care of.
Yeah.
You're like, wow, I'm gonna report back like I'm home. I'm
Yeah.
good. Hey, what's going on in Saudi? Are you okay? I am great.
Yes.
So it was an
Probably-
incredible feeling for me.
Probably better than anywhere you could have been, because that can be an isolating time. Like in your 20s, when you don't have a partner yet, your family's not with you anymore. Like it can be a super isolating time. And it's probably could have been like one of the best places you could have came.
For sure. So I think for me first, the summer did it for me. Knowing that it was a short period, like it's gonna be 8 weeks.
Yeah.
That's the worst case scenario.
Yeah.
I did have a partner at the time that I met in my master's studies, who, when we finished our studies, she relocated to Dubai, and I
Okay.
came back to Saudi.
Yeah.
And working with Flynas, I had a very nice setup. Airline employees have preferential rates to travel.
Amazing.
And I'd say that I had already optimized as early as 2009, which is
Yeah.
what I like to do today.
Yeah.
Optimize the lifestyle for folks to feel very good in Saudi. I said,
Yeah.
well, I'm going to work in Riyadh during the week.
Yep.
And every weekend I fly to Dubai. I'll be with my partner, my friends, come back. I'm here with my friends.
Yeah.
So I had the best of
All
all
the
worlds.
worlds. Yeah.
Yes.
Yes.
So what you came back and now you're not an intern anymore. Now you're doing revenue for Flynas. What was that? What even is that job?
That job is an incredible job to be
Yeah.
given the opportunity to
Yeah.
lead the revenue function for any business.
Yeah.
That was the first time I led it for any business, which for me was the airline industry. It's a privilege, but a lot of a lot is at stake.
Yeah.
So for those who don't know what revenue management means, specifically for an airline, in an airline, when you get upset, when you look at a flight and you said, I can swear this in the morning was cheaper, now it's more expensive, that's the
Yes.
function of revenue management. So we're using mathematical models, statistics, market forces, comparing with other similar flights,
Yeah.
supply and demand to adjust very dynamically every single ticket in every single flight, every single day, multiple times per day.
Yeah.
Wow.
So it requires a lot of depth,
Yeah.
analytical depth.
Wow.
I am a mathematician by trade. I studied
Okay.
mathematics in university, Math
Yeah.
Olympics, whatnot. But it also, you must have a sensitivity
Yeah.
for the human, for the customer on the other side of the screen where you're trying to optimize revenue. Meaning, who is that? What is the story of that person who bought a Riyadh, Amman flight? And why did they buy it? And why did
Yeah.
they buy it in this time of year? So a good revenue manager must also be like a psychologist, an anthropologist, sociologist, geopolitist to understand, who
Everything.
is like what's happening. And I was told by one of the best in the world.
Really?
So back to where there are a lot of expats back then, that was shocking
Yeah.
that you could find world-class talent, Saudi talent, and global talent right here in the most unlikely place.
Yeah.
So in my case, there was this gentleman called Keith Taylor, American man who came to a consulting project at the time I was here for Flynas, and he had been the senior VP of pricing and revenue management for Southwest Airlines for
Wow.
16 years.
Wow.
Southwest Airlines in the States, they invented the low-cost airline model. And he's the one who taught me how to optimize revenue. So anyways, on the one hand, very high stakes.
Yeah.
And then with the 2011, the other thing is that you have to adjust very fast, especially with a company that is early in a region that is emerging. In 2011, we had the Arab Springs that from a day to the next, they started unfolding really fast. First in Tunisia, that got the whole region, on guard, observing a lot of Twitter activity. Then in Egypt, Flynas didn't fly to Tunisia. We flew to Egypt, to Alexandria. Then it all happened very fast. You had, social unrest, and in Yemen, we flew to Yemen back then. You had it in Lebanon. You had it in Syria, certainly. And a few other places. So you're canceling flights, redirecting routes, reimbursing passengers. People are stranded.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then it requires a lot of coordination because you on the revenue side can't. You have to be very tightly integrated with your operating or with the rest of the company.
That's crazy. One thing I was thinking of when you were talking is, so what are the hot tips for booking flights then? If you know everything about all these models, obviously
I'll be
things
happy to come back to another episode because we could talk 2 hours about optimizing.
Really?
But I'll give you a few of my a freebie for
yeah, freebie.
So you can try a few. I'll give you 3 or 4.
Okay.
One of them is, believe it or not, sometimes you just have to go one way. Say, I need to go from Riyadh to London right now, and I really need to go tomorrow or whenever, maybe in a week or 2, and it's too expensive. And you're quoting Riyadh, London.
Yeah.
So, well, airlines are not going to love me for this, but here it goes.
Yeah.
So an airline selling you a Riyadh, London ticket, usually what we sell is Riyadh, London, London, Riyadh.
Yeah.
Return.
So you might not expect this, but if you quote only the Riyadh, London, when you see, oh, this is really expensive.
Yeah.
If you actually quote the return, even if you don't intend to return, it's going to be cheaper. It does make sense, but it doesn't make sense to the consumer.
So a return is cheaper than a single.
Yes.
Than a single.
Okay.
So example, right? My Riyadh, London, oh my God, it's 2,000 whatever, right?
Yeah.
Pounds. And it's usually 600 pounds.
Yeah.
Or I could get a whole round trip ticket for less. Well, actually, try to quote the round trip ticket. Oh, it's less. Yes. Why is that? There's a whole mathematical models and
Yeah.
revenue models on why that happens. So that's
Yeah.
one tip.
One tip.
If you
Okay.
have a one-way flight that is too expensive, try to quote.
Yeah.
The other tip could be, this is another crazy one as well. If I fly economy,
Yeah.
and sometimes economy is too expensive.
Yeah.
You'll be shocked to know that there's times that business class is cheaper than economy.
Wow.
That's crazy.
And that might be more obvious if you're going directly to the website of the airline, because you will see economy, business, and first
You
class.
see all the
Yeah.
options.
But if you go on Kayak or Expedia or an aggregator and you say, I'm
Skyscanner.
searching for economy, you only see economy and everything is expensive.
I see.
So I always go and check what it will be in business.
Ah,
It's like 10 of them.
that's good to know.
And I always feel like when you go directly through the website, you get a lot more options and, you can change things a lot easier than going through a third party, even though third parties may be cheaper sometimes as well.
Absolutely, but the best deals are in third party. So yes,
Yes.
be prepared for the other thing. Like for example, I have when I travel with my family, my daughter has special needs, and traveling with my daughter is complex. The airline, wheelchair assistance, connections. That's when I don't want anything to go wrong.
Exactly.
So if you book through a third party, but you need to ask for special services, that all happens with the main website.
Yeah.
Another one is if you have miles,
Yeah.
and a flight is too expensive paying out of pocket, sometimes with your miles is very, very affordable to
Yeah.
redeem. So that's
Yeah.
a good one. Anyways,
Okay.
That's
Good.
awesome.
I had
Thank
to
you.
ask.
happy to offer more advice for a fee.
Yeah.
For-
That's just a taste. So that was Flynas. So you're doing that. You're doing the revenue management, and then at some point, you finished there. It was that around 2011 as well.
End of 2011. So
Yeah.
my first stint was the summer of 2009 and
Yeah.
full 2010, 2011, 2
Yeah.
years. Left December 2011.
There's Arab Springs. There's lots going on. Why did you leave? Because it sounds like it was an amazing opportunity. It was lots happening with that company. Obviously, they've grown like crazy. What was your thinking then?
So back at that point in time, I'm now 27.
Yeah.
I had it was very hard. Well, like that was my first rodeo. And my first rodeo happened to be here in Riyadh, Saudi Arabia, trying to build Flynas with the team in a year that had a lot of wear and tear. 2011, Arab Springs, whatnot.
Yeah.
And I think at the time, with less experience and vision, I said there's probably a place where it's going to be less hard for me to advance my career, learn. And I had studied in Singapore my MBA. I went back to Singapore for an opportunity. I learned a lot since then because obviously since I left, I said maybe I shouldn't have left. Maybe I shouldn't have left. Fast forward, Flynas IPO a year ago or so. I have friends from back then who were still in the team. I'm like, I should have stayed.
Really?
I knew eventually we will IPO, but then maybe not getting too ahead. But then on the other hand, I was torn.
Yeah.
I'm like, I love it here. And I had my Saudi friends, and I had my expat friends as well.
Yeah.
The Mexican embassy at the time said, "You can't leave, Victor. You're the Mexican in Riyadh. You're like our pride."
Really?
And the ambassador organized a little farewell party for me at the embassy. There were
that's
like
so
5
sweet.
Mexicans in
Yeah.
Riyadh.
There's
And then my Saudi friends, same. Said, well, let's go for the last hurrah with like some nice caps on the
Yeah.
floor,
Yeah.
and then some shisha, which at the time was not allowed in Riyadh, so
Yeah.
we had to drive out to Tamama.
Yeah.
So I was really torn. I left to Singapore to what I thought it would be a better opportunity.
Yeah.
And certainly in terms of the lifestyle that I was looking for as a 27-year-old, was
It was
the
good.
lifestyle. But I was torn, so I made a point to stay connected to my Saudi friends.
Yeah.
I came back, visit them 2 times over the 3 times. 2013 in Riyadh, 2016 in Riyadh, 2024 in Riyadh, and
Wow.
my Saudi friends travel all over the world. They would come. I would see them in Singapore. I would see them in London. I would see them in Toronto, so on and so forth.
Yeah. So then you have your position in Singapore. I think you worked like around the globe after that. You were back in the US, right?
That's right. The
Yeah.
quick rundown is, so if I had summarized my career after Saudi all over, I went from opportunity to opportunity globally. And what excited me is what I had seen here in Saudi Arabia. A country and an environment and a company that is building capabilities, building infrastructure, connecting Saudi to the rest of the world via aviation. So I wanted to go around the world to build, to spend my time in industries that elevated quality of life in a way or the other. Now I can take a flight, great. Now I can receive my e-commerce shopping in my, great. And that was, for example, Singapore. Singapore Post was in the middle of the transformation, going from a mail operator, like mail letters,
Yeah.
but this is 2012.
Yeah.
E-commerce is booming in Asia. So we need to know how to shift to becoming a e-commerce player so people can start receiving parcels. So that was fascinating. I spent a year and a half there, went backpacking around the world again for a bit, and then I went to North America to work in private equity, in a private equity firm with my friends in Arizona, where they acquired, we acquired services businesses, medical clinics, birthday party places for children. You're like,
Okay.
what do these things have to do with each other? They're services,
Yes.
right? There's someone who needs a service,
Yeah.
and you need to deliver the service in the best possible way.
Yes.
So spent 5 years there. I built, took me to the UK for a bit as well, building a business.
Yeah.
And so the pandemic started.
Okay.
Yes.
So then, what did you do in the pandemic then? By the
The
way.
pandemic, I had to reinvent myself. So now I had a
Okay.
family. I'm living in Canada.
Yeah.
I have my daughter and my wife. We were settled in Canada, and it's time to reinvent yourself. So
Yeah.
I took this experience and with remote work,
Yeah.
I started working with US-based companies in similar industries I had seen, but with a strong technology component.
Okay.
So first, health tech company, German company out of Miami. So I was helping them build their US business.
Yeah.
Incredible company where
Yeah.
I keep really dear friends. And then with a very good friend of mine, which is really how I ended up in Saudi.
Okay.
A friend of mine who was building a real estate, two friends of mine who were building out of Austin, Texas,
Yeah.
platform to manage real estate at scale to make the experience for someone renting a house much better
In Saudi.
in US.
In the U.S.
And the experience for an owner of a house much easier, so hassle-free.
Yeah.
So I worked remotely during the pandemic with them to help them build this business where we manage, at the time, 6,000 houses for investors all across the nation in the US.
And then, how do you end up back here? Because you end up back here in 2024.
That's
Full
right.
circle.
So this last story, building the residential real estate platform in the States, is 2022, 2023.
Yeah.
The company did very well. It was also a challenging time in the States with the slowdown of the interest rates and the slowdown of the tech markets. They ended up selling the company. So another chapter for Victor was coming to end.
Yeah.
And I had the opportunity to work in a wellness retreat in Costa Rica for a
Wow.
minute.
You have a lot of chapters. Yeah.
So that's took me here to Saudi. So
Yeah.
I went to Costa Rica. I was very curious. They said, well, there's these wellness retreats in Costa Rica.
Yeah.
They're very high end.
Yeah. I want to
Well,
do one, by the way.
Why do people go there?
Yeah.
So people go there because people all over the world, especially with demanding jobs, successful people, so they need to reconnect. So they need an environment, and they're willing to pay for health that looks very different to the pills and the prescription. So what do they do in Costa Rica? Well, they come here to a 1-week program, and they're in nature, and they do breath work, and they get support with metaphysical teachings and meditation, and they are realigned. And it's a beautiful place called Rhythmia Life
And your
Advancement
wife,
Center.
your wife.
My wife also worked there as
Yeah.
well.
So if people want to do it, they can.
Absolutely. I'll say that that's a place that transformed my life.
Really?
Wow.
So when I came work at Rhythmia, Jerry, the founder, said, we have a great project, Victor, come help us with this project. I was commuting between Canada and Costa Rica, and I found another paradise and heaven. And for me, after all these chapters,
Yes.
fast-paced life, having to face things that were very hard to process.
How old were you at this
I
time?
was just a couple years ago. I'm 42 now, so this is 40.
Wow. So that's a
Wow.
long time of grind.
It's a long time of grind, but also like growing up in Mexico. My parents had a family business, and I
Yeah.
saw a lot of hardship. Even one day when I was 16, the business burned down. There was a fire, and they had no insurance, and I saw them rebuild. Growing up
God.
in Mexico in the 90s.
So you've been through a lot.
In Mexico in the 90s,
Yeah.
every 3 months there was some new economical challenge or whatnot, political instability, and I went around the world. So
How did they? So I know we're going back and forth, but how did they? Did you end up going to going from that to your MBA? Like how did you?
yeah, so
A lot of people struggle to I don't know, jump countries, even.
For me, I had the blessing of teachers in life. And the first teachers, my parents, I'm the oldest of four brothers. Then a great teacher, my math teacher, Miss Angelica, when I was 13 years old in Cuernavaca, Mexico, 14, 15. I've always been a difficult student because I
Okay.
see things in my way. And up until then, I had not come across a teacher who understood how to meet me where I was and take me from there into develop me. I was a bit of a trouble student. They said, "Oh, this kid is bright, but he doesn't do things as we tell him. You know, he has to do the formula 1, 2, 3, 4, 5." I'm
We
like,
know
I
kids like that.
doesn't work like me. You know, for me, it was clear that I could solve the problem differently.
Yeah.
And then my teacher, Miss Angelica, instead of fighting with me, would every day bring me a different challenge. And at the end of a year later, I was like a whiz. You know, I started math competitions. I made it to the national team in Mexico, top 10 in the country, and that started opening doors. So then,
see.
since then, that became, if I work hard
Yeah.
and I put myself in an environment that is nurturing with mentors and teachers and folks with more experience, I grow. And it was rinse and repeat. That took me
Yeah.
to my consulting, studied mathematics in Mexico, my consulting firm.
I see.
And my consulting firm, there were people who had studied their master's degree all over the planet. I hadn't. My family hadn't. It was not an environment familiar to me. But they said, this is how you think about going to business school. And since then, Carly and Vesna, and my whole career, I've worked with people who know me. You know,
Yeah.
all these, how did you jump around the world? It was with people who knew me, how I worked, and helped me grow through my career.
Yeah.
And you know what's helped there is like you've kept these connections, like all over the world you've worked and you've kept those relationships open. You've made an effort. And
Yeah.
that's what's so important. Like, you know, you can move somewhere, meet someone, and then if we lose connection, it's not like you lose a lot out of that because
How do you, that is such a strength. That is
Yeah.
not my strength, by the way. Like networking is like, it's always been my like least favorite thing. Like, it's just natural to you.
Networking is a terrible word.
Yeah.
Right? I don't think networking gets any of us excited.
No.
It sounds work, right?
Yeah.
Work.
Exactly.
But I'll tell you a very,
it's more about building those friendships, right?
I'll tell you again a story that is very deep and intimate to
Yeah.
me. When I saw my parents' business burn to the ground, it was year 2000, May in Mexico, Cuernavaca, Saturday morning, 4 in the morning. We wake up, the phone is ringing, like the factory is on fire. My parents said, "You stay home with your little brothers. We have to." I said, "No, I saw my parents build this business. When your parents build a business, they take you to the business on the weekends, like you're doing your thing while they're working." So you go there, and it's 4 in the morning. You can see the fire from miles away,
Oh my God.
and it's a plastics recycling factory. So it's, in essence, it's oil. You
Yeah.
know, plastics are oil. So by 4 p.m., there was nothing left.
Burned to the ground.
We managed to move out some trucks of the factory, get some important paperwork from the office so we could at least use the legal documents. My uncle's businesses were door to door, so they also caught on fire.
Oh my God.
And when I was crying in a rock in the back of my parents' property, my dad came to console me.
Yeah.
So why are you crying? I said, I'm crying. It was just as a child, and talk about trauma,
Yeah.
it's just observing that, being there 12 hours. Said, well, I'm crying because we have lost everything that you worked so hard for, and how are we gonna like Monday morning, the first thing at school, private schools in Mexico, they're gonna say is like your parents haven't paid the tuition, you have to. So my dad said, no, son, like we have not lost everything.
Yeah.
We lost everything material. But what we learn in a life in business, in 25 years in business, our experience, our reputation, our knowledge, our connections, our friendships, our family, nobody can take away from us. And that's what we're going to use to rebuild. It's like, well, I had no choice but to hope that was true.
Yeah.
But I couldn't see how that would be.
Yeah.
And I saw my parents rebuild. And one of the first, of course, family came immediately to support. My father had a Lebanese friend in Cuernavaca, Mexico. We've been friends for many years. This Lebanese friend showed up the next day with cash.
Wow.
Yeah.
So the Middle East, even though I never traveled, in Mexico we have a lot of Lebanese, and they show up in a way that's very different.
Yes.
And then I saw them rebuild. So when we talk about it, Vesna, I think for me, witnessing such a shocking event in my life at that age, I said, okay, that said, that our friendships and network and knowledge and experience, then that's what I'm going to get. That no
Yeah.
one can take that away from
Yeah,
me.
you hold it close to your
So
heart.
for me, my friends became my treasures, and my experience became my treasures, and my reputation, and so on and so forth. Yeah.
I love that.
Yeah. Okay, so that was a detour back in time, but I think it helped explain a lot. So now we're back in Riyadh. It's April 2024.
Yes. So again, I serendipitously I learned that there's this. How did I end up here?
Yes.
February 2024, months earlier, I told my dad that the project I'm working on in Costa Rica might need to pause,
Yeah.
and I'm going to have to reinvent myself again.
He's like, okay.
My wife, not very thrilled, right? Like, gosh, can we just stay in one place?
Is your wife, she must be like the most patient. Yeah. Yeah.
Alhamdulillah.
Yeah.
You know, mashallah, tabarakallah. My wife is my treasure.
Yeah,
Yes.
exactly.
So months earlier, I'm like, honey, I think I need to look for potentially any opportunity. And I'm thinking of just going to Saudi, see what's going on there. It's like, oh, Saudi, this guy has not stopped talking about Saudi since I
Yeah.
met him 12 years earlier. She's like, go, just go.
Yeah.
But listen, something might come up and you need to sign off. Like, would
So
you
you
be
just
okay?
went. You just
I
went.
just came. Yes, like you need to be fine. We might end up in Saudi. Fine. What?
Yeah.
If you find something like this and this and this and this and this, that's what it would take for me to move the kids and
Yeah.
the family from Canada.
So you're on a mission.
Or I was on a mission, manifestation. When
Yeah.
you work in wellness in Costa Rica, you learn the power of manifestation.
Yeah.
So I tell my dad, I call my friends in Saudi, guys, I haven't been there since 2016. And that's when the changes got started in 2016, the vision. So I hadn't seen any of that. I'm gonna come back in a few months. So why don't you come to Leap, which was a technology festival that will
Yes.
happen like in February 2024. He says, Victor, there's everyone comes from all over the world. Like, what do you mean from all over the world? Like,
Yeah.
no, like I remember in Saudi, people, you couldn't even get a visa to come to Saudi
Yeah.
before. And now they're telling me there's this technology festival and meetings and investors and people. I said, I have to go see that.
Yes.
My dad came along. My dad said, I'm coming with you, but I'm going to the Bahrain Grand Prix.
Yeah.
And then the Jeddah Grand Prix. And I want to go to Istanbul. Okay, that's you.
Yeah.
You come, you do your thing. And I came here, reconnected with the friends. But I'll tell you guys, my dad had come visit me when I lived here 16 years back. From the airport to the city, I thought I landed in the wrong city.
Really?
And I knew Riyadh very well.
Yeah.
I said, what? This is the wrong, like, we did not recognize a thing.
Wow.
When I was here before,
Yeah.
they were building the Princess Noura bin Abdurrahman University.
Yeah.
Yes.
One time I counted 200 cranes. It was a construction site back in the day. Now,
It's kind of like Diriyah now, right? When you go through Diriyah, you
Thank you.
see like hundreds of cranes.
Yeah.
You can only imagine what that will be like in like 5 to 10 years.
Or you can't. And you
Yeah.
can't because this country is doing things that you cannot imagine. They haven't been done.
Yeah, just the
you-
speed of lightning, really.
Just
Yeah.
exactly. So I came back for Leap. I started realizing that this was a very different country than
Really?
the one in a very good way.
Yeah. Made you
right?
excited?
Very energized.
Yeah.
Oh,
Energized. Yeah.
I'm I'm an energy guy.
Yes.
You get me excited. I'm like,
Yeah.
I'll give you everything.
Yeah.
So when we're here, it's just something different.
Yeah.
There's first of all my Saudi friends who, when I would see them years earlier, we could hang out. They would take it a bit easier. Now they were full steam ahead with meetings, commitments, jobs, boards. Wow, these guys are pushing, are cooking.
Yes.
And then people from all over the planet for Leap coming in, investors, tech, meetings, events, connections.
Yeah.
So it was clear I had to find
Yeah.
a way to come back.
Yeah. You're like, okay, we are coming.
We're coming.
Yeah.
I call a friend of mine in the States. And I said, look, this place looks incredible. I think I have to find a way to come back.
Yeah.
Go back to Canada, and then serendipitously I was connected to this company, Miami based, that was looking to come to Saudi Arabia and be part of that big vision.
Okay.
Wow.
And so this is where where flow comes into play. So you were here from the beginning here. You started with, one of their locations and then came here. That's how we met you. And I guess we won't spend too much time on compounds, but like obviously you see so many people come in, like looking for a place to live. Like, I don't know, what are some things that people come in and get wrong? Like, I don't know, tell us a little bit about that. Like that experience of seeing so many expats, new people
For
coming
sure.
here.
No, that was one of the most, if not the most,
Yeah.
intellectually interesting aspect of the 2 years that I had with Flow.
Yeah.
From day one till a few weeks ago. And it'll take a minute to unpack, so I'm
Yeah.
gonna unpack that.
Yeah.
When I landed here, first I went to Miami, and Flow has this incredible founder with an incredible vision to do something that others have not seen. So you need to be very in tune with that vision. So I'm in Miami. Flow had just launched as a concept in Miami, and it allowed me to soak in the essence of the brand, what we're trying to do, and the incredible team behind Flow already US side. And they said, well, we need to go to Saudi, and we have to go very, very fast. I land in Saudi, and I find myself in a country with a great leader that is transforming the nation with a great vision. So I'm in a country with a leader that is transforming the country at a vision at a pace no one has seen before. I'm working with a founder who has an incredible vision people haven't seen, but he can see it clearly, and he wants his team to deliver.
Yeah.
And I'm here in Riyadh. We had a great our CEO here in Flow. He was in place. Fawaz Farouki, an incredible leader here in Saudi Arabia, and then another couple team members were there when I landed, and with a big mission. So in the early days, as you said, when I joined, we had a few properties that would become Flows one day, soon. And then we couldn't wait. We also had to, in real estate, you need to start, if you sell or lease, you need to do it in advance. You can't wait till everything is finished to sell it. For example, off-plan sales happen before they build, because that's how real estate works.
Yeah.
So it was similar here. We had to start explaining what Flow is to folks looking for a place to live before Flow existed.
Yeah.
So now
You're selling
this is
people like
really-
a lifestyle.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Right. This is going to unpack like what expats get wrong, or when they come, or what they're looking for, because what Flow became the early days, when you have buildings that are still being finished, and there's people working in to fit out the amenities, or there might not be amenities at all yet. And then you have, and there's maybe not even a team. The team is you and a couple people.
Yeah.
And then you have people who are coming to the kingdom. We're all coming with the same dreams
Yes.
and the same pressure. When they hire you because they want you to be part of the vision, and the vision is very high stakes. So it's a very interesting intellectual phenomena, because you're dealing with, and in Saudi as well, we have a lot of great Saudi talent and families living a Flow.
100%.
So then you're the person, you're building a structure or a framework to understand what people are looking for. And people are looking for what I was looking for 16, 17 years ago when I came to my summer internship. I had a dream that maybe this is a place that's going to do something for me and my life. Right? Fast forward, all these folks come because they have that. They're coming with where they're at, right? With what they're looking for to be home, so they can build what they have to build. And then on the other hand, here you're at, saying, well, what you're seeing is something very different to what you've experienced before.
Yeah.
So at least first what it taught me, and what I think expats or people looking for compounds, how they should think, right?
Yeah.
What it taught me is that if I explain Flow or whichever solution, whichever compound as like, these are the villa, or these are the 2-bedroom, or what's your budget, and you want a pool, I was not cutting it.
No.
These folks wanted to understand, how are you going to make me feel home?
Yeah.
So you had to become a translator. So in the early days, it was actually really good not even having that, because all you could do is selling that lifestyle. So I had to understand, who are you, Vesna? How long have you been here?
Yeah.
Oh, you're from Australia. Great. And what does that look like for you? Are you on your own, or is you work for you? No, it's for my husband. Great. And kids, no kids. And what kind of stuff do you guys like to do in Australia? What are you looking for? Well, I'm a bit lonely, and I'm a bit, I don't know anyone in Riyadh. great. You'll meet wonderful people at Flow, and you're gonna have a friend, and you're like,
Yeah.
that was the pitch. That
Yeah.
was the pitch. That was the vision of our founder. He said, Flow is a place to connect with yourself, with your community, and with the natural world.
Yeah.
Great. So every single day that was the story and how to get folks to understand that. And I say that was part of the tremendously successful element of Flow, honing into making people feel home and connected with themselves, others. So if I was to advise an expat who's right now a little bit nervous, sitting in London, sitting in Dubai, maybe coming in now, like going to a new place, I would say focus on on being in tune with what it is that you need to be well, that to be grounded, almost like meditate.
Yeah.
Don't focus on the house. Don't focus on that. That's second. First, what do you need to be well? Be able to verbalize that.
Yeah.
Don't tell me you need a 5-bedroom villa.
Yeah.
Tell me, I have 3 kids and I might have family visiting from overseas, so I'm looking for a place for them to. Tell me that, right? Don't tell me, do you have a massive courtyard? Tell them, I have a pet,
Yeah.
which is important for you. And then here in Riyadh, the market is changing very fast. So in teams like what we build here, the teams are trained to understand what it is, what's important for you, and what do I have, which nothing is perfect in Riyadh, right? It's
Yeah.
thousands of people coming, thousands of people with different expectations.
Yeah.
So you need to explain to someone what you have, which is by no means perfect or fully complete, but could work for you or not, so you can go find something. So that's what I would advise expats.
Yeah.
Or even if you live here and you say, I want to consider going to another environment, great.
Yeah.
Take a minute to reflect what in your current environment is important for you, so you can
Exactly.
verbalize to the person who's over there.
Yeah.
That's one. And second, I think the market is still is learning very fast, and help is needed as well to translate to that other person who might just want to show you the villa or the budget. You almost have to do a bit of work to help them calibrate that you need a lifestyle.
Yes.
And that's really where the kingdom is going. Quality of life
Yeah.
for the citizens and the talent in the world that wants to be part of this change. The kingdom wants all of us to have what we need to be well, quality of life to achieve the vision.
Yeah. But before I came, I for sure was like, oh, we'll have a big villa. We need all the amenities. We need the big compound. Then it's like, now having been here a year and reflecting, it's like, it is, you kind of have to come here and figure it out maybe, or maybe you already know. But I did kind of trust myself on like, I actually don't think we need a big space. I think we just need stuff that we like to do. Like, what do we want to do every day that'll make us feel good? Like for the kids, for me, for the dogs, you compromise on some things and you learn some things along the way. But it's way more about that, like you said, than just having a big house and a big compound. Like, I don't know.
And less is more, like being able to spend that quality time with your family, like you're moving, you're leaving everybody behind. So it's now your time to be present with your closest. So you want to make sure that they're happy, that you're happy. A massive house with a big pool and everything we had back in Australia is not important anymore. Like where we are now, you learn to manage and adapt.
You touch on thank you. This really gets me to follow up with the next couple of pieces of advice, right? And you're really spot on because you've gone through it. You've gone through. We've gone through it, and it's hard if you haven't for someone to come and tell you, no, you don't need a villa. You need this. What do you know? I know this is what I need. This is what I want. This is what I have right now. But what's very interesting is two, and both of you touched on it. One, and I'm a lot of people reach out and say, Victor, my friend so and so is gonna move to Saudi.
Yeah.
Can you help this person? Sure, I'll give them my 2 cents, and
Yeah.
this person is gonna move. So now I'm becoming. I continue to do this in a way, and what I'm seeing is that those early days when someone is coming, there's a lot of uncertainty. Maybe your contract is not finalized yet.
Yeah.
Maybe you're in the process of getting an ikama. You're still figuring out what's going to happen if you come with the family back home. Are they going to stay? Are they going to come? School year. There's just a lot.
Yep.
So I think your job, there's changes here, in the region. So we also are keen to know where things are going to go.
Yep.
And now you're going to join this coming from wherever you come. So a good piece of advice could be take it slowly. You know, don't try to land the perfect 10 out of 10 in the relocation. You know, you need to take something 3 months, 6 months to test the ground. It's okay.
Yeah.
Right? I know that from far it looks like a one-way decision that you cannot go back. No, there's a lot of us here who can help you. Start, right? Come, spend 3 months here. You have a probation period, maybe that is also 3 months. Don't make, and this is one of I recently wrote about, in the first 90 days in the kingdom, coming as an individual or a company that's coming to open in Saudi Arabia, in those first 90 days, try not to sign 12-month contracts of any kind. And back to someone looking for a place they're going to commit and 12 months, try not to. Try to go slow.
Yeah.
And as you said, Vesna, you're spot on, right? Like you have your life in Australia, your life wherever you have it, and it looks like this. Don't think that the way your life looks there will be the best setup for you and your family to thrive here.
Yeah.
Actually, less is more. This is a great way to let go of the chapter and make room for change.
Exactly. My life in the UK is so different than what my lifestyle here. And when I go back to the UK, I will be back in that life, and then I'll come back here and I'll be back. It's very different. It's hard to explain. Like, yeah, it's very hard to explain, but it's like here, it's very energized. It's fast paced. You're traveling maybe a bit more. Like, it's good to be, I like being minimal. I like being a bit agile here and like going with the flow. And there, it's very like grounded in the house you're in, and it's very slow paced and quiet. And I like
A bit more
that.
structured.
Yeah, I like that, and I like this, and it's different. Whoops.
And it's nice to have a taste of both, you
Yeah.
know? Until you experience it, you don't know.
Yeah.
I think so, Vesna, because once you start spending time in different environments, I think for you, Vesna, is this your first, either as yourself or family, is this your first international experience?
International, yes. We did move to Sydney and Melbourne for a few years for my husband's work, and now this is the first international.
Okay, so there was an element of that within Australia.
Yes.
And then now this is big. This
Yeah,
is a
this
big
is
change.
big. This is different. This
Right,
is
yeah.
like no families close by.
Sure.
You're in the unknown. You're just leaving everything, your old life behind, and starting from scratch.
For you, Carly?
Well, I was Canada, I moved to the UK, and then, but which obviously Commonwealth still. So this is the first, you know, when you move to a country that doesn't speak English anymore, like it's a big difference.
Canada to UK, no with a family, just yourself?
Just myself.
And then UK with your family?
Yeah.
So- and then you came with a family?
Yeah.
So I think that as we do this, you've done it once or twice, we've done it a few more.
Yeah.
It's a process where it's a beautiful process.
Yeah,
It's a very challenging process, but it's beautiful. And I think for me, it goes back to that first time I get out of the plane here and you say, nothing outside is familiar. And when nothing outside is familiar or puts you at ease, you have no other choice but to go within,
Yes.
right? And we're used to getting what we want externally. And it's really a process of going internally and like self-knowledge, like, oh, okay, this is not familiar, but why is it not familiar? I go back to understanding what do you need, and sometimes we don't even know that. And as you said, Carly, like we're here, it's great. We go to the UK, it's different, it's great. And you start just knowing yourself, right? And like, you know, regardless of the external, internally, I now start knowing how to adjust to different settings. And the kids, right? The kids are, oh, we love Saudi after a couple of weeks. And,
100%.
it's incredible.
Yeah.
And I think the important thing is that you need to put yourself out there as well, because if you stay indoors and you're always on your own and you're not willing to make friends or, you know, immerse yourself in the culture and meet locals, you're not going to have the same experience.
Well, that's now talking again about Saudi Arabia. It's something significantly different to the first time I was here. I said I was here. I wanted to put myself out there.
Yeah.
But it took the lucky coincidence of my Facebook album and the friend in Mexico who knew this and knew that to just even chat with a young Saudi guy who kind of we shared interests. Fast forward, you want to explore and meet and Saudi go, right? We could name right now, and you've named them in your podcast and channel, a million ways for someone new to experience the culture. So it's much easier today than back then.
Definitely.
We have had so much to cover with you. We're an hour in. We're going to take a break. you're going to have to come back for part 2 because the next part I think might be the most exciting part because you're really kicking off in stride. Now you're here in Saudi. You're going to spend the next 12 months really focusing on Expo 2030, Vision 2030. You have a lot of friends here. You have a lot of connections. You're working on a lot of exciting projects. I think it's very interesting for people in the kingdom now coming. I think it's very interesting, but you're going to have to come back next week for part 2. Okay. Thank you so much, Victor, for today.
Thank you.
Let's do it. Thank you very much.
We'll
It
see you
was a
next
blast.
week.
See you next week.